What are we gonna do tonight, O.C.G?
Well, the same thing we try to do every night, Bertram. Take over the world. I mean, YouTube. Take over YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, joined once again by my faithful manservant / buck totem Bertram. Say hello, Bertram.
Hello, Bertram.
And this is my review for Resident Evil 4. So my friends, Resident Evil 4 was originally released in 2005 and re-released too many times to name over the years, but the gameplay you are seeing here is from the PlayStation 4 version. So, what is Resident Evil 4? Well, I'm so glad you asked, dear viewer. Apart from being the fourth main entry in the Resident Evil franchise, Resident Evil 4 finds us playing as Leon Kennedy, who must save the president's daughter from a cult somewhere in Europe. So, story. Oh wait, I've just done that. Moving on. Resident Evil 4 is the best thing since Eva Green's mother pushed baby Eva out of her vagina. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Not about Eva Green being born. That really is marvelous. But about the words Resident Evil 4 and best existing in the same sentence. Now, Resident Evil 4 is often decreed as not only the best Resident Evil game, but also one of the best video games ever made. Ha! Well, today, I am playing the role of a chap who disagrees strongly with those statements. Maybe tomorrow I'll feel a bit differently. No. Actually, tomorrow I'll still disagree with those statements. And I also have an appointment with my psychiatrist at 10:45.
10:40.
Thank you, Bertram. What was I saying? Oh yes. Resident Evil 4 is so good. It makes my wife cry. I am being sarcastic, of course. My wife is incapable of feeling any kind of human emotion, and thus is unable to cry. Now, Resident Evil 4 did indeed change Resident Evil forever. Without it, we would not have Resident Evil 5, 6, 7, etc., etc., and while I am grateful to Resident Evil 4, I refuse to stroke it lovingly and bear its children. And not only because I am a man, and thus unable to bear children. No, it is because, in my humble opinion, every subsequent sequel to release after Resident Evil 4 has surpassed Resident Evil 4. Now, as you have probably already gleaned, dear viewer, this review will not be sucking upon the teat that is Resident Evil 4. But rest assured, I am not going to judge the game for its controls or its graphics. While the game controls like arse, and sometimes the graphics look like something that would come out of your ass, these are very much of the time, and it would be unfair for me to hold them against Resident Evil 4, as much as I'd like to. Let's start off by telling you what I love about Resident Evil 4. Nothing. I jest. I love Leon and Ada returning. The first 3 quarters of the game are excellent. The regenerators are genuinely scary. The boss fights are great. The writing is suitably over the top, and I do enjoy the mix of horror and action. Now to the not so good, and we have to start with Ashley Graham, one of, if not the single most annoying character in the history of Resident Evil. You are saddled with this little bitch for most of the game, and have to rescue her more times than an obese man in a swimming pool. If Ashley was in a slasher film, I pray she got killed first. Though, not before having her obligatory sex scene, of course. If she was on the chase, I'd want her to get caught. If she was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I'd want her to leave with nothing. And cry. I'd enjoy that. If she was on The Weakest Link, I would tell her, "You are the weakest link, goodbye." That reference is for you British viewers. God save the Queen. But not Ashley, no. Smite her. Now what else do I not like? Well, Sadler, while not being the worst Resident Evil villain, is far from the best. Apart from being the final boss in the game, he just turns up throughout the game to annoy us. He never poses any kind of threat. I've been more intimidated going to the toilet.
The toilet? What's so intimidating about going to the toilet?
Well, Bertram, I've never told you this, but a midget armed with garden shears hides in the shower.
Oh, I see.
The game is great until the boss fight with Salazar, who is also a midget, but not to be confused with the midget armed with garden shears that lives in my shower. Now, after the fight with Salazar, you arrive on an island, and the game goes from balls to the wall to just simply balls. Now, the island definitely is the single worst area in a Resident Evil game. There are far too many enemies armed with guns, and being shot at brings back awful memories of a trip I recently took to Texas.
You were shot at? Where?
Well, Bertram, in a church. By the priest. And all I did was tell the priest that his delivery could use some work. Throw in a joke or two. You know, I even suggested a joke he could use.
Oh, and what was the joke?
Why was Jesus such a hit with the ladies? Because he was well hung.
But Jesus wasn't hanged. He was, crucified.
Shut up, Bertram. What else do I not like about the final few hours of the game? Well, instead of going into every detail, I'll just list them here instead. So, the island is bollocks. The mine is bollocks. The enemies with guns are bollocks. Krauser, apart from his boss fight, is bollocks. Ashley is still alive, which is bollocks. The instant death QuickTime events are bollocks. Now, to counteract all of that, let me lighten the tone somewhat and tell you what I like about the final few hours of the game. Now, the boss fights are magnifique. The ending is magnifique. Turning down Ashley Graham's sexual advances is magnifique. Seeing Ashley Graham in pain when removing the parasite is magnifique. Ada is magnifique. There, I said some nice things, so you can stop hating me now.
Everyone still hates you.
I know, Bertram. I know. So in conclusion, Resident Evil 4 is a 10 out of 10. Though I should take off a few points for Ashley Graham. And the terrible last quarter of the game. And the fact that the game features no nudity. Or a cameo from Barry Burton. Therefore, I am going to score Resident Evil 4 a 6. 0.5 out of 10. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My review for Resident Evil 4. If you've enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you've not enjoyed it, as I imagine a lot of you will not, well then, feel free to give me a thumbs down. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, bell button thingy. Feel free to share the video with every single person on the planet. But remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Say goodbye, Bertram.
Goodbye, Bertram.
Are you still here? Go away! I'm sure you've got something better to do with your time. No, seriously. Piss off. Be gone. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye. What in the hell is wrong with you? Go away! Vacate this space! Hit the cross at the top of the screen! The video is done! It's over! It's finito! It's caputo!